Alright, welcome back to another episode. Welcome back to Finance Details. Today we are going to be going over the Supra and its markups that people are talking about from someone that has dealership experience. I've been working in a dealership for the last 3 years at this point. And my group has a Toyota dealership with us. So I like to think that I have a little bit of experience with topics like these because I'm around the direct manufacturer, and in my group we also have some vehicles that are dealing with the same thing. So let's start off with the current 2020 Supra GR. Technically it's the GR, not quite just the Supra. The MSRP as it is starting at $49,995, which isn't really that bad compared to when it very first came out. It was actually suspected to be around 100,000, and that was just crazy out of the water. Those were the first numbers that I ever heard of, and I expected it to be around this $50,000 mark. I'm glad that it is. I'm glad that this has happened. So it's a good thing. Now the markups are, as of right now, certain dealers for the first edition that's coming out are wanting to sell the new Supra for a total of, like that first number, $100,000, which is, again, way too many dollars to be asking for this car. Is it a good car? Sure. I mean, the last Supra was good. This one will be great. It won't have quite the exact same customizability and things like that. Or I don't believe so, as the last one did. The last one came out with such ability to take so much boost and things like that, and it's just renowned as a great car. This one will be good, but with it being pretty much only BMW internals and things like that, and for some reason engines aren't made like they used to be. Like the original Chevrolet 350 was a great engine that's still being used today. The 2JZ in the original Supra was a phenomenal engine and still used today. People try to find them and things like that, and they're just great. I don't think this engine from BMW is going to have the same kind of heritage. Not that BMW makes bad engines. I mean, they make the engine that goes in the McLaren F1, for Pete's sake. All their M-Series vehicles are all great and everything like that. They don't make a bad engine. I just don't know if it's a Supra engine. Oh well. But at $50,000 for a vehicle that comes with 335 horsepower, and actually, technically that's not quite right because its wheel horsepower numbers from dyno testing are a lot better, which is good for the vehicle. So, two-door sports car, a quick one at that with a 0 to 60 in the threes. I think it's 3.9, but it's still threes. It's doing good for itself. So, the current markups, like I said, are up to $100,000, which is too much for this vehicle. This has happened before, having crazy markups like these. It's happened a couple times, actually. My biggest one, the one I like to go to, is I call this type of dealership marketing 350R syndrome. Now, a couple years ago, Ford released the Mustang 350R, and it's another one of those. It's a great car. Its MSRP is around $50,000. I think it actually might be up to $60,000 nowadays, but it's in that $50,000 to $60,000 range. It's not $70,000, it's not $80,000, anything like that. But when the vehicle first came out, it was so desired. Ford didn't make a lot of them. They're so wanted and things like that because it was a track-based Mustang. It wasn't a 500. It wasn't GT 500. Not that 350s haven't been done before. They have been in the early years of the Mustang and stuff like that. So 350 isn't a brand new name, but it is new for this generation, and they haven't used it in a while. And people really, really like the vehicle. Everyone does love that flat plane crank V8 in it, the 5.2 liter that is in the GT 500. So it was a really good car. It still is. It's still a great car. Great track vehicle. Has very good numbers all around. But there are so few of them that when they finally got to a dealership lot, they could sell it for $20,000 over, and it would still be bought. It was wanted that much that it made its own price tag because everyone was selling them for $20,000, $30,000 over MSRP. That's just what their price was at that point. Trying to find one at base MSRP was near impossible. Certain YouTubers talking about their trials and errors, are trying to find one, trying, wanting one and never getting one because of the issue of not wanting to pay that much over. And used ones still go for quite a bit over. the exact same thing, and this is where I have my most experience, is the Civic Type R. I work for a Honda dealership by day and things like that, and the Type R, because Honda only, they have, it's not that it's limited production, they don't have a set number, but they're only making so many so quickly that even though it's a Civic with 300 horsepower, MSRP is at 32 grand, they're still selling for 40, which is a lot for a Honda Civic. So this is that Type R, sorry, not Type R, but 350R syndrome. It's happened before, it'll probably continue to happen, and especially with a name like Supra, it makes sense. And those ones were not for just used or not just off the lot. Even the used ones still go for crazy high for the Type R and the 350R and things like that, because people can get the value out of them. They're still there. You can probably still sell a brand new 350R for over MSRP of a new one, things like that. Probably still sell for 60, 70 grand, and I can pretty much guarantee someone will buy it. Now, those are a couple. It doesn't happen too often. Will it happen again? I believe so. It's not like it happens with every single car that comes out, not like your Toyota 4Runner or your Chevy Blazer or anything like that. Even the Camaro with the ZL1 and 1LE didn't have it affected too bad or anything like that. Most Corvettes don't have anything like that. Some dealers mark it up a little bit, depending on your area. But it's nothing crazy. It's not tens of thousands of dollars. Or in this case, double. 50 to 100 grand is a lot of money. So, is it crazy? Totally. Is it still going to sell? Most definitely. That's just the nature of these. For being a first edition for a collector's car and things like that, it's going to be able to do it no problem. So, hopefully this gives some insight on why people do this, because if everyone does it, it just makes that the price of the vehicle, that's how dealerships work. They know they're going to get the price, someone is going to buy it. So maybe that gave some insight on how dealerships work a little tiny bit on why they mark up a vehicle. So, as always, that'll do it for today on this topic. As always, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.